My Hero Academia couldn't cut the mustard in terms of performance on the channel. So, welcome to Oshinoko. I know very little about this show. I know that it was pretty popular when it first came out. I know that its second season is about to start airing. I know that at least I think I know that it has something to do with idols. I know that some of the characters have pretty cool eye animations, like cool designs on their eyes specifically. Uh, and I know, or again, at least I think I know, I don't actually know. And I think that it is somewhat psychological in nature. I know very little about this show, but My Hero Academia just simply is not performing at all on the channel. Even given the nature of it being like a new channel and the videos not having broad appeal, it needs to be replaced. So we are trying something new. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, let's go ahead and I guess get into Oshinoko episode 1, starting in 3, 2, 1, go. Wait a second. Wait, I'm sorry. And does that say an hour and 22 minutes? Uh, I did not know I was getting into a frickin' movie for episode 1. Okay, strap in. Wow, we are. This is an interesting start. Okay, so it is about idols, seemingly. Oh my word, those eyes. Yep. What is happening? Um, sir? Yeah? Twitter. Oh, rip this dude. Her eyes. Oh, the despair bordering on disgust as she looked at him and saying that. What is the. Yeah, okay. What is this doctor, by the way? Please don't tell me this guy's gonna be like a main character. I'm assuming that we're focusing on the idols, right? And this isn't gonna be like about what idols bring to other people. I don't know. Could be wrong, but is this a cancer patient? Ah, my nose is itchy. It'd set you up for a drastically different life. That is what it would do. Okay, settle down. That'd be social suicide. Okay, let's not. Oh, geez. I'm guessing she never got discharged. Ooh. Huh. That seems very unhealthy, not gonna lie. Definitely a predator. Jesus. What? She is not holding back with these callouts. Not holding back with these callouts. No answer. Yikes. Right. Um. Um. On paper, I'm not like big into idol animes or anything like idol series, but okay, those eyes are kind of unmistakable now. But I feel like this father looks like a manager of some description. No, is he for real? Can very much say this is not the direction I was expecting this to go. Settle down, Doc. Ow! The fuck? I mean, oh, this ought to be good. Does she not know? Okay. Sure, just wave it off with some cutesy response. Why not? I guess that's very idle of her. Twins! Lovely. Okay, can you let's take a step back with putting your agency front and center on your concerns. What are your thoughts? What are you asking him for? Oh, thank God, he was professional for once in his life. I'm sorry, what? I if somebody said something like that to me, I think I would just shut down. I would have no I would have no way of responding to that. Oh, he has this kid as his screensaver. I'll be honest, what she's saying right now kind of resonates, just like in a very physical sense. Like, if you grow up in a city or even just like suburbia, and then you go out to like the country somewhere, it is really surprising, like the difference in like what a night sky looks like. It really is. How optimistic. I'm sorry, what? What was that? That thing I said earlier about how if somebody said X to me, I think I would just shut down and not know how to respond. Copy paste that here. Um, yeah, that I. What did I just? What? She's something, all right. I am very confused about what's going on. Of course, not. Of course, not in just like the practical sense of like I don't understand what's going on in terms of like the very direct information and events that are being described as happening at the moment. But in terms of the what's and the whys and all that, I am definitely very confused. Wasn't this dude like the president of his agency? I get that she's like a star idol, but how is he able to spend like all of his time here looking after her? Doesn't he have like other things to do for his job? Expected delivery date. Eh, very much not what I was expecting to see happen here. I've come to like her straightforward personality. The straightforward personality that says lies are love. Yeah, okay. Uh-oh. This dude's about to get knifed. Uh-oh. Oh, wow. He's this dude was not expecting the doctor to have a spine. Neither was I, frankly, but this dude's like, oh shit. This really messes up my plan. You actually standing up to me. I'm gonna leave. I'm out. And pushed off the edge. Oh, okay. I know I said it, but I wasn't sure that it was actually gonna happen. Wait a second. I hold on. Please don't tell me that. Okay, so he's dying and all. I get that. It's sad. It's unfortunate. It's whatever. But like, yeah, he's clearly dying right now while thinking about this. Um, is the reason? Surely not, right? Is the reason that we've been talking about being reborn so much? Is that gonna be like a theme? Is that gonna be like part of this story? Ain't no way, right? Surely not. No. Okay. Man, this show's gonna be weird, isn't it? Like really weird. Okay. So Dr. San just got reborn as one of the two twins, I guess. But how is that even gonna be remotely relevant? What a picture to have as a doctor at your funeral. Oh, what the hell? What a name. You're a baby though. How are you gonna be a relevant character as a baby? I am so confused. And is the other twin going to be like an actual baby? Or is it going to be somebody else who was reincarnated? Ruby, okay. Okay, and they each got one of her like star eye things. I was gonna say that's not wow. Terrible thing to say about your own children, but what? Wow. He's flipping her off. What? Oh yeah, she seems thrilled about this. I what? That sounds like a big problem since you're trying to keep this a secret. How dramatic. This is so weird. That's still not Ruby. You're even dressing them different. Please. Wait, who's talking? Okay, can we? Is that? What am I watching? Oh, great. That's exactly the kind of person I want watching some newly born childs. uh, oh dear. Oh, he's just okay. He's just chilling watching TV. You have got to be kidding me. Oh no, she's dumb. Oh dear. What the hell? None of these people want to be here doing this. Wow. These sure are some behind the scenes whispers we're getting right now. What year is this? Why are you smoking indoors? Especially around teenagers. Get out of here with that. What was that? And suddenly enraptured. Is there like magic in this show? I feel like the eyes have got to be I've got to be more than just for flair, right? I think there's like something with the eyes, right? Surely. Oh, what a line. What a line. I'm grateful to the guy who murdered me. I know that we're not seeing the full like dance sequence and like musical number with their performance because we keep changing scenes over to oh, that answers the question about whether this other twin is a normal baby. And I thought the doctor was weird. Maddie, this dummy. Easy now. Okay, Ruby is a Twitter troll from the age of, oh my god, more than a troll. Flame Wars. What was I saying before we got to see what Ruby's like? Uh, the baby just talked. Wow. Wow. Oh, the musical number. It was, even though we didn't see the full thing from beginning to end, the animation on it's pretty good. I'm not like super big on idol stuff, but I've seen like some I've seen like a little bit of some other idol series, and usually they resort to like 3D CG stuff for the actual performances because it's cheaper to do, I guess. Um, but they didn't do that here, so I don't know if that's just for this opening episode movie, um, or if they're going to continue to prioritize 2D animation over going with the easier 3D option that a lot of other series seem to do. I was going to commend the show and the character for the way that the doctor baby handled that situation, and then the other and then the other baby happened, and I'm just gonna see myself out. Oh my word. You're one to talk. What is this logic? Hi, Pot. Name's Kettle. Have we met? I agree with the doctor. She's creepier. This woman is so 110% done. Wait, what? That was no, you got married to be a cougar, I guess. I don't think anyone in the show is right in the head to be frank, from what I've seen so far. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, she's losing it. Uh-oh. Do we kill her? Settle down. You say you're kidding, but I believe that escalation. Uh-oh. Oh. What? Wait. So they can like baby speak to each other, I guess. but they can also just speak fluent Japanese already because of their memories. Okay. You don't say. Oh, she's gonna go 100% camp. Kami. Turn it up to 11. Immediate. The god of entertainment. Okay. Going back again. She, going back to what I said before with the whole if someone said X to me, I'd just shut down. I think if this happened to me, I might commit myself to a psych ward. Oh my word. What? Huh? Okay, not a theater kid. Go on. I I want to know more about this other kid's former life. She seemed relatively forthcoming so far when asked questions. So I feel like the doctor's just kind of ignoring her past. Although even though we know about the doctor's past life, it's probably reasonable to believe that Ruby doesn't know about his past life like we do, in the same way that he doesn't know about hers. Wait, it is her? No way. I didn't think that it would be her. Is it actually going to be Serena? Oh, wild. Huh. I thought it would. I honestly thought it would have been somebody else that we were going to like learn the backstory about later, who also happened to die around the same time. Because I thought that the whole point of at least the way they were explaining the reincarnation stuff earlier, the way they were talking about it, not necessarily explaining it, but the way they were kind of like casually chatting about it, like it was like if you died around the same time as another baby was being born, then you could be reincarnated as that baby. But Serena died years before these babies were born. So playing a little fast and loose with this with these concepts here. Okay, well, I her heart's in the right place in that regard, I think. But doesn't mean she's perfect. Doesn't mean she's making all the right decisions. Intent and actions are very different things. when it comes to both good things and bad things. Wow, why does this dude know so much about the business? Also, like, so again, so like, I don't think they're speaking coherent words right now as they're communicating with each other. Like, I don't think their babysitter can understand them right now. Never mind. Okay, maybe they are just openly speaking in front of her now. What a strange culture. Not strange as in like wrong or inherently bad or anything. Just strange as in like so drastically different from the kind of thing you would see in a place like the US. Ego surfing? What, like looking? Yeah, just like looking up what people are saying about you? I didn't read the entire comment. I'm gonna be honest, so I don't know what she is reacting to and feeling down about. Okay, but like right now, they're definitely not speaking coherent Japanese, right? Or maybe they are because she's talking to them? Liar. You just want to see her perform. 100%. Jeez. Okay, and okay, it was something about her smile. Feels like it lacks human feeling. I can't feel. Okay. Okay, now this is interesting. That's okay. That's the most interesting thing I think I've seen so far. Oh dear. Oh, she's gonna love it. Yeah. Uh-oh. We're gonna have a little talk. Also, I bet somebody's going to comment on her smile. Yep, and it's the same guy. Yeah, because the genuine joy of seeing her kids like that. Yep. Okay. Yeah, no, that's the most interesting thing that I think has happened so far in this episode. A look at like just how like a very explicit look at, oh my god, we've time skipped. A very explicit look at like at just how calculating she actually is when it comes to her role as an idol. Like studying her facial expressions and talking about studying her facial expressions in the mirror and trying to make it seem more natural and more vibrant and such. Wait, what did I miss? Oh. Oh, geez. Must be genetic. Ah, yes, because she's such a genius. Did I miss where it said? Did it say how much time we skipped? I might have missed it if it did. I don't think it did, but I might have just missed it. Yeah, surely they won't. What? Not you! Give me allowance. Who's this loser? Why did we spend so long looking at him just standing there being all moody? Is something wrong? Oh my god. Sure, why not? the the humor is very odd, I think, so far. Like, there are things that are definitely meant to be jokes or like definitely meant to be funny. And you are a child. Stop. Where'd you learn all those words? YouTube, I guess. Like, as I was about to say, it's not that they're not funny. Like, I definitely just found that like entertaining what that little exchange they just had. But it feels very odd. It's very different. Like, and like Japanese humor that you see in anime is already way different than like Western humor that you see in like sitcoms or like Western movies or whatnot. But I watch a lot of Japanese anime and a lot of like Japanese stuff. So like I'm used to the kind of humor that you see in anime, and this is just even from like what you would typically expect from that. Like this is different. I'm not sure how to like necessarily break it down and explain how it's different, but it's definitely different. Those with real talent. think it's very interesting that he's having this like entirely serious What is the animation happening here? I think it's really interesting that he was having that entirely serious conversation with the small child. And like some people might say like, "Oh, you would never talk to a kid like that." But I think the fact that he recognized like, "Oh, this kid like knows how to have a conversation." And from that point like was willing to engage with the child as though they were, an actual person, even if it wasn't necessarily intentional. I think that that's really good to see. I think that that was a good choice by them, even if they weren't really necessarily thinking about it in this way. Um, I think it's good to show that, like, basically just to show that, like, you should talk to kids like they're actual people. Like so, the way that some people talk to kids, it's like they're stupid, like they're idiots, or like they're talking to pets. I've legitimately seen some people talk to children, and it feels like it feels like they're talking to the kids the same way they would talk to like a dog or a cat. And I'm just like, that's not how you talk to children. It's just not. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I thought that was interesting. Even if it was just like a way to again get like more of this guy's opinions on like precocious baby. Okay. Even if this it was just like a way to get more of this character's opinions on like the industry out there, or like provide like narrative or context, or regardless of what the intent behind it was, I like that they did that. Oh, rip. Sorry, Dollface, you're too hot. Got to get you off the screen. Wild. That's a good line. Oh, you also. Yup. This guy sees money. But is this one of the latter? Low budget. Nope. Swing and a miss. Welcome to the settle. Yep, that tracks. Child actor. As she is passed out. I think she's gonna wake up and be like, I want to get in on this too. I just talked to him at a level that's far higher than what a small child should have been able to do. You're one manipulative baby. What a what a transference of skills, I guess. Oh my word. Oh, okay. That was in the show. That was such a weird sound, and it played into my headphones so strange. I thought something just happened behind me. I was about to freak out for a second. Oh, Christ. Um, Crying on command is always a desired trait in actors and actresses. Like you. Her voice sounds familiar. Is that Betty from ReZero? She sounds familiar. That VA sounds familiar. Why are you always immediately escalating things and jumping to killing people? Oh my word. Wait. Okay, never mind. For a second I was like, this plot sounds familiar. For a second I thought this was like a slightly altered story of the real life events of when I had her children, but no. Not so. Not so. Also, I was going to say before this new character appeared, this new child actor, um, Ruby's behavior makes more sense now that we know that the person she was reborn from was 12. A bit more sense. Some of the things are a bit more believable, or not necessarily believable, a bit more reasonable, I guess you could say. Interesting. Yeah, no, there's definitely some kind of magic nonsense going on with the way that their eyes work. It isn't just like a demonstration of like main character energy for the audience. Good read. Oh wow. Wow. That was that got unexpectedly raw. Natural talent. They're doing some really, I think they're doing some really good work so far with like big picture stuff, with ideas and concepts and yeah, cool. It's been pretty cool so far. 3 years have passed? You're only three? Okay. Idol slash media personality. So now she is 19. Okay. I'll soon be turning 20. Thank you for keeping the timeline on track with me. Wait, what? My body has not yet been found? How? I know it was a rural area, so like maybe they wouldn't think or be interested necessarily in doing like a big hmm, definitely a child. I thought he was gonna be like, oh yeah, she was definitely a teen. That's a big book you got there. Meanwhile, don't know that author's name, of course, but I'm glad they had a little touch of the caretakers being like, what is he reading? Hmm? What? Huh? This is preschool. You don't need to be good at dancing. Ooh, you always cooped up in your room. Something like that. Oof. That was a harsh flashback to watch. Wow. Yeah, you enjoy it. Enjoy doing now what you couldn't do before. God, if I could be reborn like this with all of my memories and knowledge, God, I would do things so differently. Huh? Oh, we're finding what her special power does? Or no, it's just because. Okay, never mind. Ow. Ooh. But now, reassurance, confidence. Eyes over. I know what that's like. It's very frustrating to say the least. I wonder if this is going to lead to her being more capable of learning new moves. Because, like, having this prior knowledge, like, that's not going to help. Well, like, it'll be good for an initial showing off. This animation is really pretty, by the way. Um, but, like, if she's going to be some sort of dancer, yeah, she has a sense for dance, okay? Like, she's gonna need to be able to pick up new dance moves, new routines as well. She's not gonna be able to just rely on the things that she's seen video of hundreds or thousands of times. Oh, she's talking to Papa. You do? I don't think I would particularly care. Okay, Ruby. And I's like, okay, no, we gotta nip that in the bud. That's not okay. That's not normal. Oh, this ought to be interesting. Over 1 million followers? Oh boy. Oh geez. Haven't seen this guy in a while. And honestly, I've been okay with it. What is it? I don't know what that is. Ah? Now, please let the small child go. Even if he has the mind of an adult, he still has the body of a child. Please don't be so rough with him. Hmm. They're what everyone dreams of. Meanwhile, I'm having to explain this to the person who's going to be performing at one. So I'll put on the appearance of being happy too. Huh? I'm a compulsive liar. For even thinking that's. I. Look. The whole reincarnation thing. It's interesting. It's a wild concept that they're trying to engage in here. But honestly, the little bits of internal monologue that we've gotten from I make her the far more interesting character to me. I want to see more of her. Not more of her being silly and just like saying what people want to hear. I want to see more of her behind the scenes. She's trying to scare him off, and instead, he's gonna somehow resonate with what she's saying right now. Lying is a talent, you know. It's weird. Like, what he's saying is like, it's very business oriented in the way that he's like trying to pull her into to become an idol and like work for his agency. But like, it's also kind of good advice for her situation. He's like trying to direct her into sort of a like fake it till you make it kind of thing as a way of like getting her to a point where like she can actually be a better person than what she considered herself to be at that time. Like, nope. Animation and lighting and what? Huh? Ah, what? That. I'm proud that you're expressing your character growth and desire for character growth right now, but you just got stabbed and are bleeding out. Ah, you're a doctor. Come on. You can do something, right? Please don't let this character die. The fuck? I just said like 5, 10 minutes ago that I thought her character was the most interesting and wanted to see more of her. Oh my god, this animation, by the way. Oh my god. She gonna get to say it? That definitely wasn't a lie. That is a disturbing shot. Oh my god, that was a scene. Ah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's not a surprise. What? This has been something. My word. Of course there were. The the absolute contrast. The stark contrast from the start of this episode to now. How did this happen? How did we get here? After 3 days. Yep. Topic wasn't brought up again. It's over. Couple days. Old news. Not interesting anymore. No one's talking about it. Look at her. Look at this character growth, by the way. Trying her best to be there for them. After how awful she was at the very beginning, trying to use them for like profit and popularity. And now at a point of like, please let me help you, basically. Yep. Yup. What a good hook. Okay. What a good hook. Figuring out that there is still something he needs to do. There are still questions that need to be answered. I'm here for work. Not entirely the direction I was expecting that to go. I'm sorry, did we just time skip to teenage years? I mean, I guess that kind of tracks, doesn't it? Okay. I wonder why. Oh. And thus the prologue concludes. This was all the prologue! Who is that? Oh, it's her! Who is. That was a lot. That was a lot. Oh my me. I don't even know if I can get all my thoughts in order. I'm gonna just let the ending play out for a minute. Uh So they're like, okay, looks like there might be an after credits thing. I don't know if it's just gonna be like a preview for the next episode. It probably is, but in case it's not, we're just gonna chill. If you're wanting some thoughts, I guess you can skip ahead 20, 30 seconds. Maybe I'll oh, actually, you know what? What studio is this? What? What is this studio? Oh, there's an after credits thing. Nice. Demonstration that like she did just want the best for them. Okay. All right. Anyways, so what is this? What is this studio? Doga Kobo? I recognize some of these shows, these other shows that this studio has worked on. But like, I think How Heavy the Dumbbells You Lift is like the only one that I've watched. I didn't really like Umaru-chan. I only watched like one or two episodes of it. There's one or two on here that I wanted to try at some point. But I feel like overall, I don't feel like any of these shows are like huge. Like there's like nothing in this list I've seen. I've been like, "Oh, they did this?" And the reason that I'm talking about the studio is just because I think I only mentioned it like a couple times. But like the reason I'm talking about the studio is because the animation was incredible in that like first episode like movie prologue, however you want to classify and call that. Like the anime, especially like there were very obvious scenes where they like where they like deliberately ramped up the animation, right? And they put extra flair on it. They like made things more stylistic, or like they added a ton of detail to like the characters and like the facial expressions and the hair and like the animation was incredible. Like the base animation was already good. The base animation for just like the normal things that were happening was already good. And at those points where they intentionally like made it better, damn did they make it better. It was so good. Um and like I tried to mention it like really briefly as things were happening towards the end there. But like God, that was such a wild journey and trip that we just went on in that like hour 20. It wasn't even an hour and a half. That hour 20, like for the first, I don't know, 10, 15, 20, maybe even 30 minutes. Like there were so many things where I was just like, what's happening? This is so ridiculous. This is so odd. This is so weird. This is so just like absurd and like and to go from that to talking about these like these wider concepts and notions of like how the industry works and you know we are looking at it through mostly the lens of an idol, but there's also like being an actor and just like so it's more broadly just like the entertainment industry and how that works and how it functions and how it operates, to just kind of sort of talking about that, and then also not just talking about how those things work, but then also looking at like the ramifications and effects and consequences that the way that those things work ends up having with the very obvious and direct consequence is like the obsession of that fans end up developing sometimes that leads them to do things like commit a murder against the object of their obsession, in this case I, and then to follow that up in response by killing themselves. Like this this show has hit on several very heavy, very complex, very dark, and like and again just like a lot of like nuanced topics that have, again, just like a lot of depth to them. And it's not even just like theoretical stuff, right? Like these things that it's addressing are based in reality. I don't know to what extent they're going to like try to keep things like realistic in a sense. Like obviously that we're some of our main characters in this show are reincarnated people. Like we're obviously not going 100% realism with everything that's happening in the show, right? But it's not like everything. It's not like the things that we've seen addressed here in this first episode, in this prologue. It's not like they are entirely make believe or entirely fantastical in nature. Like these kinds of things, unhealthy obsession, unrealistic standards and expectations, like people getting shoved aside for roles and like for spotlight in favor of like in favor of like other people, like the prioritization of business and like profits over it's there's so much there's so much, and there were so many of these things that they tried to talk about and demonstrate here in this opening episode. I think we're done very well. I think they were done with a level of care that shows, first of all, that the author either did a ton of research and or that the author is very creative. Like maybe they didn't go around and talk to a bunch of industry people, but I think they very likely did do a lot of research before working on this project. But I think that you could also say that the author is just very good at observation and analysis, because like you don't need to be in the industry to know about these things that are being talked about. I don't consider myself in the industry, but a lot of these topics, a lot of these like points of view, a lot of these ideas that are being batted around and expressed by these characters and that we're seeing play out in the I mean, if this is a prologue, that we're seeing play out as they are setting the stage for what's going to be like the actual story of this series, they are things that I recognize. They are things that I recognize. They are things that, in some cases, to a small extent, I can even like relate to and understand and like have seen before, like that I've seen like play out in reality before. And again, I'm not somebody in the industry. I'm not an actor. I'm not somebody who's like big into idol culture or anything like that, but I am somebody who pays attention. I am somebody who like when folks talk about like the entertainment industry in some way, like I listen. I'm curious about how things happen behind the scenes. 1 second, my nose is running all of a sudden. No idea why that just happened. But yeah, so I'm somebody who pays attention to those things, and that has been enough for me to recognize a lot of the like the nods and the sort of things that again, just that this show seems to be wanting to and I don't even know necessarily to what extent, like, some of these things that are being brought up, I don't even know necessarily to what extent they are going to continue to be like relevant themes, or like, to what extent, how do I want to say this? To what extent they are going to continue to be like relevant aspects of the story, I suppose. Because as we move on into the next episode, first of all, I hope I I want to say that the show from here is probably going to give us like regular length episodes. I feel like if I had at any point previously when I looked at like Oshinoko's My Anime List page, I feel like I would have noticed if it was like, because My Anime List pages tell you how long episodes are, and I'm pretty sure it just said 22 minutes. Your standard. I feel like if they were hour plus long episodes, I would have noticed that. But anyways, going forward, I have no idea what of the things that were covered in this prologue are going to continue to be like significantly impactful to the story from here. Because the where we've kind of left off in a sense, and where we kind of it maybe expect to go. I say the reason that I'm kind of hesitant to say where we expect to go is just because this was such a wild ride of a prologue that I think it would be kind of disingenuous to confidently say, "Oh, I expect X, Y, and Z to happen from here." um, but I think that where we are kind of expecting to go is, seeing Ruby get into idol culture more, seeing Aqua get involved in acting more, seeing like more of this exploration of the entertainment industry. But I don't know to what extent it's going to be in order to like make commentary on the entertainment industry, and how often it is instead just going to be kind of used as a vehicle to progress this sort of mystery that we now have. That I don't know if over the years that we time skipped, if Ruby got on board with Aqua's plan, but Aqua's, his goal is seemingly to find out who his and Ruby's father is, because he believes that to be the person responsible for Ai's death and his own death, to that end. My nose. I don't know why. Again, I don't know why it's running so much. I guess I'm at least glad that it wasn't doing that during the show. um, so yeah, I don't know to what extent we're going to focus more on entertainment industry commentary. I don't know to what extent we're going to focus on this mystery. I guess it's a murder mystery. Um, yeah, murder mystery genre now. Uh, or to what extent we might focus on character conflicts. Like we got, I think somewhat obviously, we got kind of teased at the very end of the episode. Some of the other kind of main characters that are going to be taking the stage as we progress into the series proper. And for all I know, based on some of the things that like, I mean, God, I'm all over the place because so much happened. Um, like there was a lot of, I think, good character stuff in this episode as well, with especially, again, my favorite character was which is why I'm bummed that she's dead. And seeing like seeing the kind of internal monologue she had, and the beliefs she had, and the kind of character she was, and the way that and if we have more characters like that, I guess what I'm trying to say is if we have more characters like that, because the complexity for Ruby and Aqua largely comes from the fact that they are reincarnated characters. They are reborn people who have like a whole other set of life experience that they are bringing to their new lives. That's kind of where their character complexity and curiosity comes from. But with that's not what was interesting about her character. It was just like the kind of person she was and how she saw the world. And if we see more characters like that, I think it is very likely the case that we will end up seeing some potentially very interesting character conflicts between Ruby and Aqua and these other characters who are going to have like, drastically different, probably relatively selfish and like personal growth focused motivations and goals. And that could end up being like more of a centerpiece than the murder mystery or the commentary on the entertainment industry. It might end up being like those things might end up being more secondary to more immediate and direct character conflicts between what is going to become our main cast of characters. I don't know. um Geez, what else? I don't think this is the last. Do I? I don't know. I'm on the fence. I'm very. I don't want to say anything with too strong of a sense of confidence. I don't think. I don't think this is going to be the last we see of I know that it show. Obviously she's dead. The character I is dead. I'm not disputing that. I'm not questioning that. But we've already seen two characters be reborn. And even in the moment when she was dying, honestly, also real quick, again, I talked about the animation. I talked about the shift from, the weird lighthearted silliness to like the heavier, more darker stuff that happened like just over the course of this prologue. It was an incredible transition to watch, I think. I think that quite possibly the only reason I didn't cry during that death scene is because even in that moment, even when like they were showing her getting like more ragged and weary and like they were giving us very visible physical animated cues that she was dying. Like they were not, it wasn't just all of the blood, like they were not messing around with making it known that she was dying. Even with like the visual of like the star in the sky going out, like even in that moment I was thinking, what if she gets reborn? What if she gets reborn? I don't think that that's unlikely. If they don't do that, I won't necessarily be surprised. If they just wanted to use her character to set up the rest of this story, I think that would make sense. I think that would be totally sensible. I could see that happening. I could absolutely see her character just being more or less how they chose to springboard the rest of this story with our actual main characters of Aqua and Ruby and who all they're going to be interacting with and what all they're going to be doing. I could see that. But I could also very much see it being the case. And if they do bring her back as some reborn character, I don't think it's going to be right away. I definitely don't think it's going to be like episode 2 or 3. But if we get to episode 7, 8, 9, something like that, and we meet some, even if we don't time skip anymore, like these two, Ruby and Aqua, because of their memories, they were like essentially competent human beings at age 3. If we've time skipped now, I don't know. Let's just say they're 16. If we've time skipped now to them being 16 and they were, 3, 4, 5 when I died, then then I think you could easily see a character show up who's like 10, 11, 12 and is like, a fully fledged character that is in fact a reborn version of I could definitely see that happening. I could definitely see that happening. I could definitely see ways that could complicate the narrative, because then if that character comes up and you have, Aqua's goal of trying to find his father to resolve the mystery behind his and I's murder, then like how does how does I showing up as another person, how does her opinion on him doing that affect that goal, right? There's a lot of ways that bringing her back into the story could complicate the narrative and could complicate character dynamics. Because if she comes back, we already know that she's a very interesting character with like, this whole with like her whole view and perspective on like lying and how lying works to further one's own ends basically, and how lying is like a core part of her what was a core part of her life previously. I think that if she comes back and decides to some extent pick up where she left off, like how does getting back into the industry, how does coming back on the scene as a child with what she knows and the perspective that she has, how does that affect the way that she's going to choose to engage with others? And yeah, there's just a lot. There's just a lot. I don't know. I am very interested in seeing where this goes. When I started this episode, when I started this video, I was not super on board with what was happening. It was interesting. It was odd for sure. But I was not super on board with the story that I was being shown, I don't think. I had a few I had some issues with the way they were handling certain things, and I just didn't really see what was going on that was going to like keep my attention basically. I didn't really, there wasn't anything that like super strongly grabbed me. But then as we progressed and we saw more of characters and we saw more of ideologies and we saw more of like big picture narratives being dropped in front of us, I got more interested, and the way that they ended things out with that very, again, that very real, that very like visceral murder and death scene, and like just the raw emotional impact of like, I am now very into what this series has to offer. I am very interested to see where this goes. I am very invested in watching what happens from here. I want to see how this continues in episode 2. I want to see how it continued in episode 3. Even without knowing super strongly the direction that our story and plot is actually going to take, I'm very curious to see how strong this series can be. That might sound like a weird way to say it, but again, the way that the prologue happened was just so odd and unconventional in a lot of ways, I think, that I feel like there is a lot of potential. Not only have they already as I've kind of already said, and I don't want to repeat myself too much, believe it or not, as all like the amount of different things that we kind of touched on that could just as easily be picked back up again or dropped, like the amount of things that they have to expand on if they so choose, while also having the option to focus on entirely new and different things instead. I'm very interested in seeing where this goes. I'm very interested in seeing where this goes. And with that, I think we should probably go ahead and end things here. Again, I didn't even know when I started that this was going to be a whole ass movie. So we are now looking at a recording that is an hour and 45 minutes thereabouts. So let's go ahead and end things here. If you made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. I don't know how this is going to perform. I don't know if I'm going to break this up into multiple parts. I don't know if I'm going to post a nearly 2-hour video of this. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet because because metrics. I don't know. We'll see. Again, regardless, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Check out other stuff available on the channel if you are so inclined to do so. And until I see you in the next one, take care. Bye-bye.